Hi, all of you. Is my sound is audible? Okay, so we have to start with the functions. Okay, so how to create the functions in the bash scripting. So for that, again, I'm creating a file with the name called function.sh. And the first line we have to write is the cven command. Then then we have to give the function name, whatever the function name you want to give. Take an example, I want to create a function with the name called hello, right? So we'll be just writing hello, the space, then open bracket, close bracket, space, then give the curly bracket. Okay. Then inside this function, whatever the things you want to do. Take an example, inside this function, I want to do like echo hello, welcome, something like this. Okay. And hello, welcome. And then we just want to write the $1. Take an example, $1. Okay. $1 and then close this and close this curly bracket also. Okay, so we created a function in which they are going to print hello, welcome, and whatever the input this customer is going to write. Okay, now if somebody is going to write here like hello, okay, if here you written the H capital, here also you have to write H capital. Basically whatever the function name is there, that you have to write it outside this. Okay, and then you have to give the input, like whatever the input you want to give. You want to give a word here like listen. So what will happen after hello function, you given one space and then you written this word. So this word will be treated as a $1. Okay. So now if somebody is going to run this script, what they are going to print, they will print hello, welcome, Kisan, like that one. So if I'm going to press enter and save this file, make the permission 755 function.sh dot plus function.sh. See, it is printing hello, welcome, Kisan. How? Because as soon as you retain here that we have to call the hello function, so they are calling the hello function. When they went to the hello function, they are saying that we want to print echo hello welcome, so they printed hello welcome and then some input. So whatever the input we given, that they printed here. So whenever you are calling the function, whatever the things you written inside the function, that will be going to run. So this is known as a normal function. Okay, now there is a concept called nested function also. What is the nested function? Nested function is like one function is going to call the another function. Okay, one function is going to call the another function. So let me show you the nested function example here, vi. Okay, and we are creating a file with the name called nested function dot sh. Inside this also, the first line will be the cven comment only. Now I'm creating a function. Okay, so take an example. The first function I am creating with the name called welcome. Okay, and inside this welcome function, I just written here that we have to welcome somebody, right? So for that, I just written uh, we have to write here echo something like this we written. Okay, so this is the first function we created. Now again, I am creating one more function. Okay, something called greetings. I'm creating another function with the name called greetings. Okay, and inside this greeting functions, I'm writing echo. So this one I just created in the greetings function. Okay. Now these two functions I created. Currently, I'm not calling any function. If we are going to write it here, welcome. Okay. If you are going to write it here, welcome, what is going to happen? Let me show you. First, I will save this. Okay. This is the content of our nested function that I written. Okay. I just calling the welcome function. So if somebody is going to write here chmod 755 to the nested function, and they will try to run it. what this nested function is going to print? Can anybody tell me? That will it print the first line, second line, or it will print both? Anybody? Both. Anybody? Any other answer? Which function we are calling? Welcome function, right? So they should print only the welcome part only, right? Why they will print the greetings part? Because we are calling only the function called welcome. Only welcome it will print. So if I'll press enter, okay. Actually, see here, there is one mistake. Here I given the capital W, here I written the small w. That's why they are saying welcome is not found. Okay. So let me just edit this file. Okay. Here I written either here we have to change to a small w only because upside you written the small w. Save this. Now I'll try to run this again. So see, it is printing welcome to body. That means first function is printing. Now, similarly, if somebody want to print the second function, right? So what they can do, they can just delete this welcome part. In place of that, they will just write the greetings. Okay. Now, what is going to be printed? Wait. So say it is printing thanks for coming. Okay. So greetings is also done. Okay. Now, if somebody want to print both the function, okay, if somebody want to print the output of both the function, right? So there are two ways. The first way will be you will be writing here greetings also, and here you will be writing the welcome also, something like this. Okay. So first I written the greetings, then first it will print the greetings, then second I written the welcome, then it is going to print the welcome. I'll save this. If I'll run this, so see, it is printing thanks for coming also, welcome to party also. Okay. But we are typing it two times. Okay. If you don't want to type it two times, so then you can write something like this also. Take an example, I'm calling to the welcome function. So I'm calling the welcome function. Okay. Now, when I call the welcome function, what they are going to do, they will print the welcome to party, this line. Okay. And I'm saying after once you print this welcome to party, then what you have to do is you have to call the second function. So basically, whatever the greetings you are writing at the downside, okay, we can just write it here. So now what will happen whenever somebody will call the welcome function, automatically they will just print welcome to party, and then they will automatically go to the greetings also, and after that they will say thanks for coming, something like that. So if I'll save this file, okay, so now if you will try to run this, they are going to print both only, right? But the benefit here is, okay, one function is calling the another function. We don't have to write it, right? Whenever I will call the welcome function, automatically it's the duty of the welcome function. Once their work will be done, they are going to call the greetings function. So that is the difference. Hope this is clear to you. Now let's try to create a file to which we are going to read. Okay. So I am creating a file with the name called abc.txt. This is just a normal file I am creating. Okay. .txt file. Inside this file, I'm writing some content, something like this. Okay, something like this I written. Okay. And simply I'm saving this file. Okay. So now you know that we created a file with the name called abc.txt, and content of file is this one. Okay. So if somebody is going to say you, can you read the abc.txt file? You can say, yes, I can read the file using the command called cat abc.txt. Okay. But now if somebody is going to ask you, can you read this file using the script? Okay. So for that, what you can do, you can create a file with the name called readfile.sh. Okay. Inside this readfile.sh, the first thing you will mention the cven command only /bin/bash. Okay. And the first thing you'll be writing is file name, because file name can be different, right? Currently I am reading the abc.txt file. Tomorrow somebody will ask me to read another file. right? Day after tomorrow again somebody will ask me to read some another file, like that way they will be keep saying like that. Okay, so I'm creating a variable with the name called file name, and inside this I am purposely mentioning that you have to read the file called abc.txt. Making sense, all of you, that we created a variable, okay, with the name called file name, and we written here abc.txt. Tomorrow you want to read some another file, just change this name to some another file, you'll be able to use the exactly same command. Okay, now after reading this file, what is the command we are using to read the file? Usually we are using this command, right? Cat abc.txt, like this. So if this command will write it, we can, this command also give the output, right? But rather than writing the abc.txt, we can write it here as a dollar file name also, right? Because dollar file name will automatically equal to the abc.txt file. So this command is also going to read the cat file, okay? But let's read it in some proper format. So I'm just adding some more extra line here. Okay, echo reading file dollar file name using cat command and echo okay, and then they will read the file, and then at last also I'm simply bringing echo something like this. You simply save this file. Now what is going to print, let me show you. If somebody is going to do like chmod 755 to the read file dot as such, edu dot slash read file dot sh. Okay, so what they are printing? They are printing reading file abc.txt using cat command, and they are printing the content of the file. Is this thing clear? Any confusion in this? This is a simple, right? Normally we just use the cat command to read the file. That's it. Yes or no? Is this clear? Okay, and now you want to change different file, you want to read it, right? So that also you can do, just you can go inside this file, right? And if I want that, rather than writing the abc.txt here, right, we can simply use the $1 symbol here also, like this. Okay, now what will happen? I can read the file from here only. I have to mention the file name, which file I want to read, abc.txt. So see, they are printing like this. If I want to read some different file, okay, take an example. Somebody is saying me that can you read the hello.sh file? Okay, something like this. So I'll just write hello.sh file. You have to read it. So see, they are reading the hello.sh file also. They are saying that reading file hello.sh using cat command, and they run the cat command. They are saying in the hello.sh file you run all these things. Okay, that means we can read any file now. Okay, just we have to change the file name. Take an example. I want to run the variable file. Okay, so I'll just press enter. See, they are printing the content of the variable file. Well and good, right? Everything they are doing great. But now I don't want to print the file like this. Okay, I don't want to print the file like this. I want to print something like this. Our goal is something like this. Currently it is printing Python, Java, C++ like that, right? But my goal is something like this line. And it should print Python. Okay, then it should print line number 2. It will print Java. Is this making sense? Which format we require? We want to print it in this format: line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, line number 4, and in each line they will print the content: Python, Java, C++, PHP, Go, Angular, like that way. Okay. So if we want to print like this, so let's go inside this file, read file.sh script. Okay. So first they will print using the cat command. Let it be there. Now we are going to create a logic. Okay. So we have to think of the logic. Our counting is going to start from the line number 1, right? So I am creating a variable with here with the name called n is equal to 1. Okay. So this is just a variable we created, n is equal to 1. Okay. Now I am going to say to the while loop, because while loop, what they will do, they will keep running until and unless the condition is true. Okay. So I'm saying to the while loop that while loop, try to read the line. Okay. Try to read the line each line, okay? And until and unless the line is present, because we don't know how many lines are there, right? That there can be 10 lines, there can be 100 lines in the files, right? That's why we have to go with the while loop, and we'll say that while keep reading the line, okay? And after reading the line, what you have to do is, okay, what you have to do is you have to print echo line number one, right? We have to write like this, line number one, then you have to write whatever the content you are reading in the line, okay, that you have to just print it here, because they will save the content in the line variable, that we have to just print it here. But now the problem is here, line number one only it will be printed, but I don't want to print line number one, because every time it will be keep incrementing. First time they will print line number one, second time they will print line number two, like that way. So I am saying that rather than using the one, let's use the $n symbol, because $n value is one, right? So in the first time, what they will do, when first time they will run it, it will print line number one, and then they will print the content of line number one, that is Python. Okay. Once they will print like this, now the second time what they have to do is when they will run the second time, right? So the value of n should not be one. The value of n should be 1 plus 1, that is 2, then 2 plus 1, then 3. That means every time you have to add one number, right? So either you can write the command like this, n is equal to expr, right? Expr, then you can write the command called $n plus 1, whatever the command we used previously. Okay, that this type of the example I already shown you, that how to do the sum, okay, using the expr command. But there is another way also you can do this calculation. You can simply write here dollar, and you can write double bracket, and then you can write n plus 1. This will also do the exactly same thing. Okay, what they will do is whatever the value of n is there, n value is 1, so they will add 1 plus 1, that is 2. Next time 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, like that way it will be keep updating. Okay, now we have to write at the last thing, that once you will print these two things, okay, here we have to write 2 bracket. Okay, now you have to done your work. Okay, and now the question is from where you will be reading the file, right? This line you have to read it, but from which file? So I am writing the smaller than symbol, and I am saying that you have to read the file from a variable called file name. Okay, so now the logic is basically while loop is going to read the file from file name, that will be basically abc.txt file, that will be coming from here. Okay, and they will try to read each line, and after reading each line they will print line number one and whatever the content of that line. Then they will do the n plus 1, that will be 2. Then they will print line number 2 and whatever the content, line number 3, whatever the content, like this. Okay, and this is also done. And just to echo, so this is also done. Simply save this file. If I'm going to run this script, now it is going to happen. See, if I'll make it a little bit bigger, and let me just run it one more time. So first they were reading as a cat command, right? So cat command they run like this normally. Okay, but now our logic was this, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. So see, that also they printed. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what we are going to do it from, we are doing it from n plus 1 logic. Okay, and this line number is getting printed using the while loop. Is this thing is clear, or any confusion in this? If you want to see the command, what the command we use, again just see this command, and if you are seeing any difficulty in this 3-line command, you can ask me. Anybody can tell me why we are using the smaller than symbol here? Do you know the use case of a smaller one? Anybody remember that? I shown you, I think, in the Linux class. What is the use case of the smaller than symbol? Greater than, you know, right, that it is going to help you to write inside the file. What is for the smaller than? Anybody? Can you tell me for what reason we use this? Read, yes, that is correct. That's why we are writing here smaller than, because they are going to read the file. Okay, because if you want to read the file, we can write like this, right? Cat abc.txt. So it will read the file. Okay, so that's what we've done here, that you have to read the file, and after reading the file you have to go in the while loop logic and you'll be reading the line each line. Okay, so this is the way you can print it. The last thing we are going to see is to write inside the file. So write inside the file is the simplest thing that you can do. There is no any logic in this. Okay, anybody can write in the file. Simply you have to create a file. Okay, take an example. I am creating a file with the name called date.sh. Date.sh. Okay, inside this file I am giving the cven command, and inside this I'm simply writing a normal command, date command, and that output I'm just going to save it in a file called date.txt. That's it. This is the only goal I have, and I am saving this file, and I am going to do chmod 755 to the date.sh file. And currently you'll see that there is no file with the name called date.txt is there, right? There is no file with the name called date.txt. Okay. But as soon as I'm going to run this script, what is going to happen? Nothing happened, right? But if I'll do the ls here, you see that one file got created with the name called date.txt. And if I'll try to read the content of date.txt, so see, this is the content. Okay. Now, if somebody is going to run that script one more time, what happened? Nothing. But if you try to read the file, they added one more line. Okay. Similarly, if you run this script two times, so what will happen? Two more line will be added inside this file at this particular time. They added it. Okay. That is, whenever somebody will run this script, automatically the content will be run. Okay. And they will store it in a file. And tomorrow, if somebody is going to ask me the output of the command, so I can just share this date.txt file to them. It will have all the command output, whatever we are storing. So like that way also you can do it. So till now, whatever we saw in the scripting, anybody have any confusion in this? Any question in this? Okay. How many of you are aware about the GitHub? Anybody know here about the GitHub? No? Yes, okay. So do you have the GitHub account?
I don't have the GitHub account. But I know the why we use GitHub. Actually, I use Bitbucket in our office, so that's more similar to GitHub. Yeah, GitHub or
Yeah,
GitLab.
yeah. Okay, so what you all have to do is over this weekend, okay, you have to create the GitHub account. Okay, that is the first thing you have to do. How to create the GitHub account? You'll open this PDF file, Git and GitHub lab. Okay, you don't have to do any all these things. Okay, I will tell you how to do this, all these things. Okay, what you have to do is you have to come to this third or fourth page of this PDF. Okay, and now here we are saying you have to go to the github.com. So what you will be doing is you'll be clicking the github.com, or let me just open it in a private window. github.com. So in this github.com, you have to simply click on sign up button. Okay. Here they will ask you your email address. Okay. So just enter your email address, click on continue. After writing that email address, they are going to ask you about the password. Set your password. Then they will ask you to set a username. Username should be unique in nature, that you have to set it. Do you want to receive any announcement or marketing mail? So simply press N. Okay. Then they will give you a puzzle here to solve it. Simply solve that puzzle. Okay. Then they will send a code to your email. That email code, whatever they sent you, that you have to just paste it here. Okay. And then you are going to just select here just me. And are you a student or teacher? Just select the student. Okay. And here don't select anything. Simply click on continue. Okay. And here just click on continue for free. Okay. Once you'll click on continue for free, you'll be able to see this account. It will look like this. Okay. So let me show you how the GitHub account looks like. So this is the GitHub account it looks like when you'll do the login. In your case, definitely the repository will be not there. But if you're clicking on this uh, circle one, okay, so you'll be able to see your username here, everything, Okay. So this username, if it is visible, whatever you selected, that means your account is created. Okay. And in the next classes, when we will start with the theoretical part of the Git and GitHub, that time I will tell you what is about repository, why we are using the Git, okay, what was the problem before Git. These all things will explain everything. Okay, then we'll start with the practical update. So your task will be basically to complete this Linux and Linux scripting, all the remaining thing. Okay. Second thing, your task will be basically to create a GitHub account. Okay, and make it ready. So all of you will be able to create now GitHub account, right? Reference document I just uploaded it, so you can just take the reference from here. Okay. Any doubt in this account related? Okay. So this is a thing. Okay, and we'll meet on Monday. Okay, Linux scripting is over. Okay, and just try to practice. If anything, any doubt you are getting, you can ask on the Monday. Okay, and Monday we'll be starting with a fresh topic that will be Git and GitHub. Okay, so it will take around 1 day class to understand basics of the Git. Okay, what is Git, why, who developed the Git, okay, what are the functionality of the Git is there, how Git works, because until and unless you did not understand now how Git is actually working internally, okay, you'll be not able to correlate with the Git commands. Okay, so these all things we'll see one by one. Can I open Linux in Mac? You don't require to open Linux in Mac. That is the first thing. Okay, because you already have the terminal, right? So most of the Linux command you can run there in the Unix terminal also. But why? Like, what is the reason to open the Linux in Mac? For what reason you are asking for? Is it I got more system? Okay. Yeah, so in the Mac you have now. So see, anyhow we are going to do the practical on the AWS cloud, right? So you have to be confident in the AWS cloud also, because this entire training is about AWS DevOps. Okay, so you should be compatible with it. So whenever you want to access the Linux machine, access it on top of the AWS cloud. Okay, and access it on the Mac using the SSH. If you remember our first class, I shown you how to do the SSH, right? So using that SSH method, you can connect to these machines. Okay, on the Mac also, or simply you can use the connect method also directly from the browser also you can access. Okay, so both method I already shown you in the starting classes itself, so just you can refer that and you can connect to the Linux machine that is running on AWS cloud. Okay, any other question, anything?
I have one question.
Yeah.
So, as far I was discussing with my friend and like about DevOps. So, DevOps is like a framework, just like an agile. So, I was
Yeah, DevOps is a methodology. Yeah,
yeah.
it is the
So,
upgraded version of Agile actually.
yeah, yeah. But then we are learning Linux and AWS and Terraform and all that. So how would we relate these like to DevOps? How where we would use this, or these tools can be used in Agile also?
No, no, see, Agile or this DevOps, whatever you are talking about, waterfall model, right? These all are the methodology, okay, to
Mm.
achieve
Yeah.
something,
Yep.
okay, to achieve
Yep.
something. Like in the Agile, we talk about the sprint everything, right? So you
Yeah.
uses a tool like Jira there, right, to
Yeah.
track the
Yeah.
sprint everything. So it is
Yep.
you cannot say that in the Agile we are not learning the Jira, right? Getting it? Because
Yeah.
Jira is one of the tool that is getting utilized in the Agile implementation. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Similarly, this DevOps we are talking about. So DevOps is the upgraded version of the Agile. See,
Mm-hmm.
Agile, if you'll try to understand, na, Agile is just helping you, okay, to solve the starting phase problem only. That means from the customer perspective to the developer perspective. That's it. Okay. Like, see, where you do the sprint, developer only do the sprint, right? Developer write the code, okay, and then they show the demo to the customer. That's it. Getting it? But
Yeah.
the problem that people face between the development to the deploying, right? There is a stage that happens inside the company, okay? Where developer write the code, then the testing team test the code, right? Then the deployment team deploy the code. In between this also people face so many problems, right? Because
Yeah.
developer teams are taking so much of time to writing the code, testing team is have to keep wait, right?
Yeah.
And deployment team is trying to deploy the code, that code is not working in their laptop, again they are complaining. These all things I explained in the starting itself, introduction to DevOps. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, to solve all these problems, we require the DevOps methodology. And to implement the DevOps methodology, because at last DevOps goal is to do the automation. Okay. And to do the automation, we have to learn all these things. That's why we are learning it, to automate the entire process. Okay.
Okay.
So like, see, currently Linux is just the basic. Okay. Because all the DevOps tools are mostly designed for the Linux operating system only. Okay. That's why we
Okay.
learned the Linux. Now we are going
Okay.
to learn the Git and GitHub. What the Git and GitHub is doing? Basically, Git and GitHub is helping the developers to write their code and upload it somewhere. So other people will directly access it, right? And manager
Yeah.
can track the code, who is committing the code, everything. So that is the part of the DevOps. That is not the part of the Agile, because Agile is at the starting level only. Okay. If I
Mm.
will show you one image here, just so you are talking about the Agile, right? So
Yeah.
Agile is works at this stage only. Customer, they give some requirement, okay? So they are following the solving the problem at this stage only. Customer requirement driven testing. That's it, okay? But there is a gap between the developer and testing team and operation team who is deploying the code, right? To making it available for the real world. There is a gap. That gap we are solving with the DevOps. This gap,
Okay.
okay? And Agile is solving the gap between this requirement team and development and testing team. That's see, our manager say na, VP say that there are some requirement came for our project, right? So this one is the Agile, okay? And this one is the DevOps. So DevOps is the upgraded version. Making it sense. So
Yeah.
in whichever the company DevOps is getting implemented, that means Agile is already implemented there. Okay, they are
Okay.
designing it, building it, testing it. Here we are testing it and deploying it. So that is the thing.
Mm. Now.
Okay, so hope that is clear.
Yeah.
See here, Agile is mostly
Yeah.
towards the continuous integration. Okay, DevOps is we extend it to the delivery level also. Okay, that till the delivery we automated the entire process. Okay, that is it.
Yeah.
And how we are able to achieve this? So these are the tools, basically Jenkins, who is going to automate this entire process. And at every stage we have some tool available, right? Like
Yeah.
Ansible, or Jenkins, Git, Maven, right? Selenium. These all are the software that used by the testing team, right? Selenium, JUnit,
Yes.
Cypress, like that. Similarly, there are some monitoring team who do the monitoring. So these are the tools. So we have to learn some tools as a DevOps engineer. Okay. There are
Mm.
hundreds tools are available. You cannot master everything, but for every stage you can learn only one tool at least. Okay. So
Mm.
that is the thing. Hope that is clear.
Yeah. One more question. So for DevOps, we have so many tools like Ansible and the picture you just showed.
Hmm.
Uh, like for every job we need all these tools, or there are
No, it
multiple
depends on the
domains in.
specific job role. No? If you are
Uh,
maybe you worked as a DevOps engineer in a company where you are just working as to the Jenkins only, okay, or
okay.
maybe somewhere you are working on Docker and Kubernetes only, right? So that can be the situation to situation only. If you are working on a small startup level, right? So there
Mm-hmm.
maybe you are the only person who is managing the entire DevOps also. Okay, so it
Mm-hmm.
depends on company to company how the responsibility you are getting.
Yep. Yep.
If you go in the bigger company, your job will be limited to a tool. Okay. If you are going to the startups, okay, you will be able to learn multiple tools. That's why people say that a startup is good for the learning environment. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. A small team, that means more work pressure. Okay. But more rewarding also.
Yep.
That's the thing. Any other thing? Okay then. Thanks all of you. Have a nice day. We will meet in Monday. Try to create your GitHub account.